Let's take a look at the future tense with will and going to. First of all, we're going to use will or be going to state facts about the future or to make predictions about the future. Here's our basic sentence structure: subject followed by will or will not, and speech won't, followed by a base verb and then an optional. Again, predictions and facts about the future and new plans about the future. So for example, Ali will ace his final exam if he studies hard. Ali's our subject, here's our future, will ace, and then his final exam, our object, and then another optional clause there. Next example, Ahmed will not, or in speech won't. So Ahmed is our subject, will not, we're talking about the future. Drive to school if his car has a flat tire. Right, so we're making a prediction. Next, we will, or we'll in speech, meet them at the restaurant tonight. This is probably a new plan or fact. Next case, use be going to talk about future plans. Down here. Subject, followed by be or be not, depending on what person you're using. Then followed by going to, and a base verb and an optional clause. Future facts and predictions, same as will or won't. But here we're going to talk about long-standing plans. Long-standing means they were made before now, and they were made considerable amount of time before now. So, example, we are, or we're in speech, going to stay at my grandmother's house during the vacation. This is probably a long-standing plan, right? It's a fact that they're going to stay at his grandmother's house or at her grandmother's house, but it's probably something that has been planned for quite some time. And so we're going to use going to and not will. Next example, they're going to have an election on November 8th. Again, a long-standing plan. This is even better example. November 8th in the United States is the election date that's been planned for a long, long time. And so we will not use will. They, in speech, there, in informal writing or in less formal writing, there is fine. So we have our subject, our be verb, going to, base verb, and then our object clause. If I study hard, well, that is an if clause followed by a comma. That's not important for our grammar right now, but I am going to be able to. So again, I'm or I am in more formal writing. Our subject, our be verb, going to, and then here we have be able to. Right? There's our base verb. Speak, be able to speak. All that together is acting as our base verb. Two languages, that's our object clause. Okay. Going to form statements with will or going to. Use will or be going to plus the base form, as I said. Use contraction and with pronouns in speaking or less formal writing. Don't use contractions in the affirmative short answers, so we will not say yes they'll. Say yes they will and not yes they'll. Say yes I am and not yes I'm. Say yes he is and not yes he's. Use the contraction of be going to in speaking and less formal writing. So she's going to, she is going to, she's going to, they are going to, we're going to. More examples over here. Here's our question form. Will, subject, base verb, optional. Will you come to the party? Will, that's our future tense, indicating future. You is the subject, come, that's our base verb, to the party, object clause. Will they pay their bills on time? Indicating future, followed by subject, base verb, and then object clause. Easy enough. We can also ask informational questions. These here, will you come to the party? This is a yes-no question. Will they pay their bills on time? This is a yes-no question. We can also form information questions by adding a WH word before will, and then we follow the same basic sentence structure. Will, subject, base verb, optional. When will we learn about comma rules? Where will the team play this weekend? These all require information in the answer. Okay, we've done this one here. Going on to making questions with going to. Basically, we're going to take the be verb and the subject, switch them around for question orders. So our statement orders, we are going to stay at my grandmother's house. Our question order would be, are we going to stay at my grandmother's house? Our statement order, they're going to have an election. Question order, change the be verb and the subject. Are they going to have an election? Statement order, I'm going to be able to speak 2 languages. Question order, am I going to be able to speak 2 languages? Right? Same thing here. Be verb, subject, going to, base verb, object clause. Am I going to play in tonight's game? And a possible answer would be yes, I am going to play in tonight's game, or yes, you are going to play in tonight's game, or no, you aren't going to play in tonight's game. Next question, are they going to win? Be verb, subject, going to, base verb, no optional. Are they going to win? Answer, yes, they are going to win, or no, they aren't going to win. That would be a prediction. Is she going to get married on Sunday? Be verb, subject, going to, base verb, get married, and then object clause. Okay. Our statement order would be, she is going to get married on Sunday. Remember, this would be a long-standing plan, so we will not say she will get married on Sunday just because of the textbook grammar. Next, making WH questions, very much like the will questions, we just add the WH word before the question order, for the question format. Where are they going to stay during the vacation? Right? So that would require information. They are going to stay at my grandmother's house during the vacation. They are going to stay at a hotel during the vacation. What are we going to eat tonight? WH word, be verb, subject, going to, base verb, optional, object clause. What are we going to eat tonight? We are going to eat pizza tonight. So we'll put that object clause or the information after the base verb there. When are we going to take our test? WH word, be verb, subject, going to, base verb, optional object clause. We are going to take our test on Thursday. Okay. In this case, it was not an optional object clause because take is a transitive verb which requires a direct object. So in cases where there is a direct object or the verb requires a direct object, we will put our information after that object in the answer. Right? So our next grammar point is using, that's in the other book, we're using the continuous, the present continuous to talk about the future. Now don't get confused, the present continuous is still a present tense, but here we're using it to talk about the future. Okay, so not every time when we use the present continuous are we talking about the future. Usually we're talking about the present, but here we have a time marker, and so we'll know that we're talking about the future from the time marker. Right? Subject, be or be not verb, verb plus ing, plus an object clause, and then a time marker. So for example, Adnan is not or isn't making dinner tonight. So we know we're talking about tonight, which is later. We're assuming it's later. Adnan's our subject. Here's our be verb, using it in the negative this time. Verb plus ing, object or object clause, time marker. Okay, Adnan isn't making dinner tonight. Hassan and Fatima, third person plural, are not coming to our dinner party on Friday. So here's our subject, be verb, not optional, depending on what you want to say. Verb plus ing, object clause, and then our time marker on Friday. Hassan and Fatima aren't coming to our dinner party on Friday. Next, my cousin, that's our subject. Here's our be verb, here's our verb plus ing, and then here's our object clause and our time marker. My cousin is graduating from university next month. We could also say the other way around, put the time marker at the beginning of the sentence. Again, this is for long-standing plans, not predictions. On Friday, so it's the exact same thing we had up here, I am giving a speech on climate change. I've known about this for some time. It is not a new plan. I'm not just becoming aware of it. It's been on my schedule for at least a few weeks. It's a long-standing plan. It is not a prediction. It is a fact that I'm giving a speech on climate change on Friday. or on Friday I'm giving a speech on climate change. Again, time marker next week, subject, be verb, verb ing, and then our object clause. Next week we are reviewing for the final. We've known about this for a while. It's not a new plan, it is a fact, it's not a prediction, that we are reviewing for the final next week. Okay, making a question using the present continuous, talking about the future with a time marker. Be verb, subject, verb ing, object clause, time marker. Here's our time marker. When is it happening? It's happening on Saturday. Where's our subject? Who is the subject? Who is doing this thing? Mark and Alice are doing this thing. So we need to have the appropriate be verb for the third person plural. Are Mark and Alice going to? Now don't be confused, this is not the same going to. We don't have a base verb here. We have an object clause. Dinner with us. So this is literally, they're moving in some way towards dinner with us. Are Mark and Alice going to dinner with us on Saturday? Is Tottenham playing against Arsenal this week? Here's our time marker this week. Tottenham, that's our subject. It is the third person singular, so we have our corresponding be verb. Verb plus ing, object clause. Is Tottenham playing against Arsenal this week? Next one. Probably. Probably is not 100% certain. It's something you think will happen, but you aren't sure. It's not certain, but you think it will happen. There are a few different ways that we're going to use probably. The first one is with going to, subject, be verb, probably going to, base verb, optional, object clause. Hundreds of species. There's our subject as plural, third person, so we use are, then probably, going to, and then we have our base verb, be extinct in a few years, right? They're probably going to be extinct when? In a few years. Next one. They are probably going to lose the game. Subject, be verb in speech there, then probably, going to, loses our base verb, and the game is our object. Next pattern, subject, probably, be not. So if we have an affirmative or a positive statement, we put the be verb before probably. If we have a negative statement, then we put the be verb, be not, after probably. That's the difference. That's an important difference. Subject, probably, be not, going to, base verb, optional object clause. We probably aren't going to reach our carbon emissions targets this year. Who's the subject? We are the subject. What's the verb? Reach. What are we reaching? Our climate or carbon emissions targets. When are we reaching them or aren't we reaching them? This year. So is it likely? Yes, it's likely. It's not certain, but it's likely. We probably aren't going to reach our carbon emissions targets this year. Corresponding question would be, are we going to meet our carbon emissions targets this year? Or are we likely to meet our carbon emissions? Are we likely to reach our carbon emissions targets this year? Next one, she's the subject. Probably isn't what? Going to survive. She's probably not going to survive what? A surgery. So is she going to survive the surgery, or is she likely to survive the surgery? No, she probably isn't going to survive the surgery. Not certain, but that's what we think will happen. Next one, she plus will plus probably, base verb, optional object clause. They will probably see each other again tomorrow. They is the subject. What will they probably do? They will probably see each other. Right? See each other, and when? Again, tomorrow. Possible question, when will they see each other again? When will they see each other again? They will probably see each other again tomorrow. We have to hurry, but we will probably get there on time. In speech, we'll. We have to hurry, but we'll probably get there on time. Subject, here, have to hurry, this is our modal, and this is our verb. But, right, but here is our important grammar point for this week. We, our subject again, will probably, base verb, where are we getting? There, when, on time. So our question here would be, will we get there on time? Are we going to get there on time? making a prediction. We have to hurry, but we'll probably get there on time. That's a prediction. Difference, again, between the positive and the negative is that we're moving the will after probably. Same thing here. We have the be verb before probably in the positive using going to. We have the be verb, be not, after the probably using going to in the negative. Here we have the will before probably in the positive. Will, won't comes after probably in the negative. Sarah probably won't wear her red shoes today since she wore them yesterday. Here is our important part. Sarah's a subject. She probably won't. She probably won't what? Wear. There's our base verb. And then here's our object. Her red shoes. When? Today. And then here's our reason. Since she wore them yesterday, or because she wore them yesterday. And our corresponding question, do you think Sarah will wear her red shoes today? Or will Sarah wear her red shoes today? My car probably won't start this morning. My car is our subject, probably won't. Base verb, and then this morning. When this morning. My car probably won't start this morning. Why? Why won't your car start this morning? Or why will your car probably not start this morning? First question, do you think your car will start this morning? No, my car probably won't start this morning. Why? The question will the engine will probably be frozen. Right? So we're talking about somewhere cold. Somebody didn't plug their car in at night. This is the reason. It's not really important for this, but it does show us again that in the affirmative, the engine subject will probably be frozen. Right? So don't forget to change around your sentence order for statement and question. Don't forget to change around your sentence order for positive and negative using probably.